and you have to be very careful how you are talking, how you are looking, how much respect do you give to the people.
Your level of devotion, commitment, and dedication is much more intense than the others. That makes you a leader.
More successful the person, it is due to the failures which they have faced in their life and they try to hit back.
Also, very difficult for me to believe that former Mrs. Asia Pacific is in front of me.
To represent India on the international platform in Baltimore, USA.
You are bringing a positive change for the society and for the children's.
And you should see that whether it is the right thing for you or you are meant for something else.
In a corporate culture team.
Exactly, not even in the corporate culture. I think these are life skills. Artificial intelligence is there, data analysis is there.
ML and AI, all these, the blockchain.
Here, the street vendor, the sabji wala, the street hawker, the beggar, everybody, even the iron wala, they will have their QR codes.
Yeah.
So we are progressive and we are already making our mark.
Hello friends, welcome to the Knick-Knack Show. We are opening this episode with a famous management quote by O'Donnell and Coons. Management is an art of getting work done through and with others in formally organized group. It is an art of creating the environment where individuals can perform effectively and efficiently for both long-term and short-term objectives. And as per Sadhguru, you should never aspire or claim to be a leader. Others should see you as a leader because your level of devotion, commitment, and dedication is much more intense than the others. That makes you a leader. Today we have our guest, Ms. Shivani Sharma Singh. She's a TEDx speaker. She's a former Mrs. Asia Pacific International Exquisite 2017, and she's a Wow Mom brand ambassador at Aptech International. Let's welcome Shivani Sharma Singh to our studio. Former Mrs. Asia Pacific Exquisite International 2017, TEDx and a Tycoon speaker, mentor of change at Niti Aayog, Viksit Bharat ambassador by AICTE, Wow Mom brand ambassador at Aptech International, corporate and government engagement expert. So let's welcome none other than former Mrs. Asia Pacific, Shivani Sharma ji. Shivani ji, welcome to the show. We are pleasure to have you on the Knick-Knack studio, Knick-Knack show. So I would like to have a brief introduction and your journey from a normal Shivani to Mrs. Asia Pacific Exquisite International 2017. And there are many more points which I have missed because I have to, carry these docs to read your intro because it will go for the pages. Yeah,
See,
please,
at
Shivani.
first, thank you so much for calling me here. And it
It's a
is my
pleasure.
absolute honor and pleasure to be here and to interact with you today. Well, I would say introduction is something which, when one gives, and how important it actually make the other person feel about their own self. Like the way you have introduced me right now, I'm feeling important about myself. So thank
Our
you so
pleasure.
much for a
Thank
lovely
you.
introduction. Well, as far as my journey is concerned, it is, I would say, it's really tough for me to compile it into few words and present it because any journey, no matter how big or small it is,
Right.
it will be, it will be a result of multiple ups and downs. And I have always felt that more than your success, your failures teach you. So,
100%.
more successful the person, 90%, it is due to the failures which they have faced in their life, and they try to hit back with the more power and with the more, in the fearless manner. So, this is how it is. So, I started my journey like I belong to a very conservative Brahmin family. And where for the study also for my postgrad, I still remember that I struggled and I really, fight a lot at my father's place. That I want to study, I want to do my post graduation, I don't want to get settled right now. So that was my first rebellion move, I would say, towards me. And then, yes, I completed my post graduation from Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University. And from there I was a topper. I always had this feeling of doing better or studying better. So that was of my interest area, learning something new, which is till date is still alive, I would say. So I was a topper of my college, and after that I worked for IndiaMart Intermesh Limited for a period of somewhere around 2 years. Because before sitting for my postgrad, it is after graduation, I'm telling you that I joined the corporate, and after working over there for 2 years, then I decided that instead of getting married, I have to do my post graduation now. Because before doing my MBA, I wanted to be sure that why do I want to go for an MBA. I wanted to have that practical experience first, that whether I'm this particular course is right for me or not. And I would like to address it to the audience that it is very important that whenever you go for any course or anything new which you want to learn, it is very important that you should research about it before, and you should see that whether it is the right thing for you or you are meant for something else, right? Because we cannot experiment a lot in life, because time is it is kind of a tickling thing. So it is short and you have to do more. So coming back to the point, uh, after that after finishing my post graduation, I joined the corporate. I started my career with Hutch, and then there was a merger between Hutch and Vodafone. So that time I was there, I was a star performer there. I got married,
Nice.
and I am blessed with two adorable daughters. So it's been almost 20 years of marriage now. And during that time, because I stay in a nuclear setup, so I decided to take a break from my career. Though I was like not that ambitious, but I was like, I'm always, God has been kind, so I do well in whatever I pick up. So that ways, I preferred to stay back and nurture my child. So that call I took, and I dedicated myself. I was blessed with two daughters. Then again, I joined the corporate. So during this time, I was no more like the Shivani who rebelled for her post graduation in her family with her father.
That was a changed, completely, entirely changed.
Complete 360-degree transformation, I would say.
Oh,
This Shivani was more of like, ready to compromise, always keeping herself not even at the last, always thinking like that 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the things which she's supposed to do. No one should feel bad about it. And keeping her health, her positivity, her ambitions, her dreams. She was actually not even thinking about the dreams that
Actually, it
time.
said that,
Okay.
being a mom teaches you much more
Yes,
things
because
in your life in a
being
very short span.
yes, because being a mother is a very special feeling.
Yeah.
And I totally remember the very first time when I hold my baby in my arms. I can still feel it. And the way how it changed my outlook, my perception to look at the world, to look at the things. It will always be like my baby first, my family first, my parents or in laws first, my husband first, his job first. So, baby's education first. So
Exactly.
everything is at first. But where is Shivani? That was completely lost. So I was with the weight of somewhere around 132 kgs that time.
Seriously,
And yes, so I ignored myself that much.
I would like to see a pic of Shivani,
I,
overweight Shivani, 132 kgs.
I will show it to
Oh,
you. I will show it to you. So it was like
I can't believe, like it's an amazing transformation.
So 132 kgs of weight. I was suffering with lot of medical issues also. I was not able to sit on the floor because of the heavy weight. I had a lot of issues in my L4, in my spine. And I have started seeing the outcome that, keeping myself at the last and ignoring myself, it is, that was the learning that it was the biggest blunder. Because if I'm not happy, if I'm not fit, how can I keep my family fit? How can I let my kids or empower them to do something which they can dream of doing it? So I gave it a deep thought, and I thought that what I can do, because it was the same Shivani who used to be a top performer everywhere, and the record breaker or chart breaker. Every month, her name was being announced that she has done so well.
How can she be behind
Exactly.
in this?
So around that time, then I thought that what could be one thing which can actually is impossible for me to achieve right now. And then I thought of getting myself enrolled into a course wherein they are teaching about how to participate in the pageant, how to groom yourself, how to take care of yourself, and how to be like a winner or accepting yourself and improving on yourself. So I took that training from the Tiara. It is a very renowned institute in Pune, and from Ritika Ramitri ma'am. So she is my mentor. So she trained me for 3 months. Before that, I started taking care of my health. So I started lot of diet, lot of gymming, workout, and I became very health conscious around that time. So I already started working on it. Then I enrolled myself into the course, and I learned a lot of things from that course. That course was kind of a life changer, or maybe I rediscovered myself from that course, that yes, this is Shivani. And then when I came back from Pune, I restarted my corporate career. And then I worked with the board of trustees of Modern School Barakhamba. And then I was the spokesperson for their new chains which were coming around that time of their school. So there I joined, and in the meantime I also participated in one of the pageant for the Mrs. India. And luckily I won that pageant. And after that pageant, I got this opportunity. God has been very, very kind. I have got this opportunity to represent India on the international platform in Baltimore, USA. And I represented India there. And that was something like very hard to believe, that somebody with the weight of 132 kgs,
Still,
and then
it's also very difficult for me to believe that former Mrs. Asia Pacific is in front of me.
So I went there, and I was there to learn. I was there to get that exposure. But again, God has been very kind, and I won the title of Mrs. Asia Pacific Exquisite International there in Baltimore, USA in 2017. When I came back, I have realized that the way people have actually started treating me or perceiving about me, it has completely changed,
Completely changed.
because the title was there.
Exactly. No, it's not about the title.
I-
Because it's about your transformation also.
So they were not that open. They were looking at me from, it is something like that every time you are being judged from top to bottom, that how you are carrying yourself,
Exactly.
how
It becomes
how
a
you are
brand.
talking. And my mentor told me, Ritika Ramitri ma'am, she told me that irrespective of whether you are participating in the pageant or not, and that's a very key point of her course, which I remember till now, and I apply it till now. And I would like to share it with the audience, that wherever you go, for example, if you are going for a fashion show and you are walking on the ramp, so when you are walking on the ramp, from the backstage you are normal, and when you are on the ramp you start acting like that you are a fashion model, and you finish the walk, and when you go to the backstage, then you are again your normal self. Do not behave in this manner. In the pageantry or in the real life, wherever I go, there is a certain kind of decorum which I try to maintain, because it is not about that on a specific platform you are supposed to behave like this. Consider this, that you are being watched and people are looking at you, and you have to be very careful how you are talking, how you are looking, how much respect do you give to the people, how humble you are. You cannot just flash it on the go, and while coming back you become yourself. It is something like that you have to put it in your character, deep inside your character you have to put it. And trust me, that's the best skill. If you know that you are carrying yourself with the confidence, then you can conquer anything in this world. Everything will come back to you. So
That's an amazing wise words.
So this is how I got the title, and when I came back, so I have done a lot of print shoots, lot of ads, lot of media coverage. I am on board with a lot of NGOs and with a lot of universities also, and for some of the universities I am also a part of their curriculum designing.
Oh, nice.
So this is what I have done, and apart from that, yes, I do have a corporate career. So I am a professional with almost 18 years of work experience, dealing primarily in the government segment.
So you are also associated with Viksit Bharat. You are an ambassador, Viksit Bharat ambassador.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to, have some comments on the same, like what you're doing in All India and this Council of Technical Education. Like,
Well, AICT is the board, is the governing board for all the technical engineering colleges across Pan India, and it is governed by the government of India. And under this, they are appointing. They have come up with the sessions with the technical institutes about the skills which are there for the future, or how to make the students industry ready, or with the experience which the trainers they have acquired. So they have rolled out this particular drive in all the technical institutes covering comes under the AICTE, and there they have appointed me as a Viksit Bharat ambassador to address these sessions in some of their engineering colleges, and to guide their students or the people who are there teaching them also.
perfect, perfect.
So this is a very wonderful initiative under the Modi ji government.
Right. Basically, the mentor of change, and you are bringing a positive change for the society and for the children's, because you are
Yes.
promoting this technical education in a much more improvised way.
So
That's why you are an ambassador. So my point of asking you was that only. So why you are ambassador? So basically modifying or improvising the entire technical education system for this AICTE.
yes. So it is something that we are in nowadays, especially when since the NEP 2020 is in place. So in the curriculum also, it has been observed that the gap between what is being taught in the schools or in the colleges and what is the expectation from the corporates, there is a huge gap in between. So that gap.
You mean to say the content, what is being taught, and
Yes.
what the corporate desires? There's a huge
Yes.
gap.
Yes, there is a huge gap, because honestly, if you ask me what I have done in my MBA and what all I have learned while my finishing my any of the job roles which I have done, so there is no connect. So what
True.
Philip Kotler said in the management, and how the management is actually
The
in
corporate
the
desires.
corporate.
Yeah. It's
So that is there is not even a contrast. There is no link in between. So that ways I think government has also realized this, that without the opinion from the industry experts, how the students will be able to deliver what is expected. So they are also trying to bridge that gap with some of these initiatives, but the scope is a lot, students are a lot, and Indian population is also we all are aware of. So it will take some time. More such initiatives are actually required to bridge those gaps.
So coming on to the main point, skilling the digital age. So I'll speak something on that. Skilling the digital age refers to a process of acquiring and developing necessary digital skills
Yes.
needed to be succeeded in today's technological workforce,
Yes.
along with technical abilities like
Absolutely.
data literacy,
Absolutely.
data analysis,
Absolutely.
coding,
Absolutely.
critical thinking,
Yes.
communication also,
Yes.
and adaptability to the rapidly changing digital landscape.
Of course.
So like these things, these technical capabilities, technical abilities, like these are the main crux for you to get into corporate or to be at a topmost position. So is the government making you future ready for these kind of things, these kind of jobs?
So, well, I would say that the first thing to be at the top in your life, because I feel that corporate is a very, or your work is a very small part of your entire identity. It is one of the things, it is not everything, right? So, to be at the top in your life, the first and the foremost important thing is the confidence, the attitude. So if you have an attitude of the go getter, so you will try to push yourself to reach at the top. Okay, you at many points you may get a defeat. Okay, but then again you have to pull yourself up and you have to try even harder. This is how it works. So your attitude is the first and the foremost important thing.
Right.
Any successful person, if they have started their career right from the scratch, then definitely they will face a lot of failures and
Exactly.
then they
The
will
rejection,
get
the
that little
failures
success.
makes you strong.
Yeah, so then they will get that little success which may inspire you and you feel like to get that, because in today's technological world, when everything is available on the press of your finger, you see that your friends are doing great. Oh, they have got the admission in IMA or maybe in some outside India university. They are studying in abroad. They are doing so well, or maybe they are holidaying somewhere in Europe, and you also want to do that. But your journey and their journey could be different. Your effort, their effort could be different. No matter, luck also matters. But for luck also, you have to develop your skills.
Exactly.
And for develop the skills,
But you can't be 100% dependent on your luck or your fate. You
yes,
have to work.
yes.
You can change your luck or your fate.
So without even doing your karma or your skill learning, right? You cannot expect the results that, 1 year down the line, I'll be holidaying in Europe. No, bro, you have to work really
You have
hard
to,
for that
right.
day and night. Then you can plan, you can save, you will be hand to mouth, and then you will save the money, and then you can think of it. So the first and the foremost important thing is your attitude, and along with the attitude, your confidence. And even in the corporates, whenever I take any interview or I select the candidate for my team or I need someone to help me out in my work, first thing I see that how good they are to work with. So for any fresher, if they are joining any corporate, they will not check their lessons, their chapters. Okay, they will check that do they have problem solving skills. Maybe they will give you some kind of a problem
Exactly.
to solve.
Like in this case, your skills or what the practical training you have got, maybe like it's not easy for a newcomer to have a practical training, I know. But still, the practical training not necessarily means that you have worked in some of the companies. It may start in your home also.
Yes, even in the universities there are a lot of hackathons for the engineering students, I would say. There are a lot of events, like nowadays if you see the calendar of the university, right, and the way it used to be 20 years back down the line, there is a huge difference. So they are also progressing. So in those events also, in your tenure when you were doing your undergrad, how actively you participated in learning any new thing, that also matters. How many times you participate, what knowledge you have apart from your normal courses structure, what extra you learn during that time.
Some of the
So
children don't participate in the debates and school
many of
debates,
them,
yeah,
many of them.
college
So it is
debates.
not about being a topper, it is about that what kind of a go getter you are,
Exactly.
what is
What the
your
skills you can develop
exactly.
uh,
But
with
end of
those debates and those activities or the curriculum, the extra
yes,
curriculum which is the school with the schools and the college they are providing you.
absolutely. And it will be a combination of both the skills, the basic skills and your technical skills.
It's always the interpersonal and the technical skills both goes hand in hand.
Yes, but first and the foremost important thing is your basic skills. If your basic skills are not there,
Right.
then eventually, no matter how good you are in your technical skills, but you are not able to, for example, you are not able to communicate. You solve the problem, but you are not able to communicate that how did you solve the problem.
Exactly.
So you will not get through. You need to learn that. So your basic skills are equally important. How good you are in understanding people, how good you are in adapting or accepting your failures, how
Exactly.
good you are in if you want your career in sales, so how good you are in establishing the relationships in the professional way.
Exactly.
So all this, what kind of impression you leave when someone talks to you. So all this is very important. What kind of a person you are when you are studying in the college. Are you a helpful resource to your friends? Are you there to support them? Because this eventually work when you will work in a team.
In a corporate culture or team.
Exactly. Not even in the corporate culture. I think these are life skills. So life skills are always important.
Like
So
people forget because uh, most of the entrepreneurs they work in they have able to they can able to see the corporate culture, but if you talk about the business families or the nuclear families who have a nuclear businesses or small
yes,
businesses or medium
yes,
businesses, so these kind of skills usually these kind of skills are missing there
yes. So
because of the lack of team, because there's only the one person who's handling all those things.
yes. So, having said this, your these interpersonal or your basic life skills, these are important along with the technical or whatever is your domain skills that are needed. But seeing the future and the way we have this slogan of Digital India and Viksit Bharat by 2040. So that is something which is calling for more of technical skills, and technical skills, definitely IoT is there, artificial intelligence is there, your data analysis is there. A lot of these kind of domains are there wherein even you pick one. So data, for example, if we take the data analysis, so in data analysis only there will be a lot of things which one can actually cover. So in data analysis, if you see any of the app, it is data only. You look around anywhere, it is data only, right? How do you read that data? That is important. What, from what sources you are getting that data, that is important. How biased or unbiased is that data, that is also important. Because if the data is biased, then your result will also be biased, right? So that those kind of various roles and profiles which are coming, and it is going to increase. But at the same time, we should not feel like that everywhere it will be AI or data or something like this only. Human touch is equally important. So I will give you an example, like in agriculture, there is a lot of technology intervention is there nowadays. So people are using a lot of mechanical equipments and drones to take care of a lot of things, like putting the pesticides in the field,
Yeah, I've
right?
seen many videos on YouTube, especially in the Australian region. They
Exactly.
use helicopters and the special aircrafts for all these.
Yes, and something like this will take place in India also. It has already started taking place in terms of small equipments, drones, and all that to doing that kind of a job. But at the same time, what the farmer will be feeling, that they are getting their work is getting obsolete, but human touch is always required. So they can, at the same time, they can focus
We
into
should always need a human to run these machines. Ultimately, these are machines.
these are machines, and there should not be any too much dependency. See, humans will always be there, but their role will change.
It's a humans only, like
Yes,
who has created these machines, this technology,
yes. So too much
and
dependency.
these technologies, they are overcoming the humans. They are overpowering.
So this is how we feel like that they are overpowering, but we need to make that balance, because human touch is very important. Human touch is important because machines cannot understand the emotions,
Exactly.
right? Machine can pull out the result that okay, fine, in 30 days of time this employee was absent in the office for 15 days.
They can give you the the technical data. They can't give you the
Exactly. The reason behind it,
emotional data.
right? They cannot give you the emotional data, and for
Exactly.
emotional and for these kind of uh, human involvement, that will always be needed.
We can't think of an AI mother.
Absolutely, you have
So
said it right.
you,
So
you have to be a human to be a mother.
and that is a very small aspect. So
Yeah.
even if I have to say that now the managers, they can put more focus into developing into giving more time to their team members, like and if I have to see, a lot of technical intervention is there in the health also, everywhere it is a technical aspects are increasing, and that progress is there, right? So lot of now the surgeries are being done completely by the robotics,
Exactly.
right? So now what the doctor can do, doctor can do a lot. He can consult better to his patients, right? They can look out for other ways, apart from after surgery or before surgery. They can give more time to the patient and understand and make them more responsible for themselves. They can look out for other ways also, that how they can how they can do the early recovery after the surgery. So that kind of
The human touch,
yes, absolutely. So we will get more time for all this, and it will eventually improve the results, the outcome.
there should be equilibrium between humans and the technology. But
Yes.
we are seeing a totally reverse phase. This technology is overpowering the humans.
So
It's overcoming, in a faster way, and the world is also adopting to this change. I don't know why is it so.
So I would say it is a very positive change, but yes, like the way every coin has its two sides. So it depends upon the user of the technology, that they want to be ruled by the technology, or they want to rule the technology to provide the best results. So it is based on that. That is why we are setting up so many people for the data accuracy, right? When we try to ensure that results should not be biased, or data stay protected, or privacy is there. Otherwise the results, or any kind of these kind of violations or breach, we cannot even imagine the results. So in the past there were a lot of organizations who actually faced a lot of losses, because the results provided by the data management or whatever they have
It
done,
was not
so
accurate.
it was not accurate, and it actually resulted in incurring a lot of losses. And big international brands I'm talking about, I don't want to name them here. Okay, so it is like it
And right now
depends.
they are using IoT, ML, and AI, all these, the blockchain, the combination of all four to get the best data.
Yes, but
And
then
then they can evaluate the data, and they can make the decision in a much faster way, or a more efficient way.
but how you are going to do when the data on which you are working, that data itself is not the correct data?
Depends. I'm not a correct person to comment on that.
No, so there are ways, definitely, and there are lot of job roles, like there will be a data analyst, there will be a robotic analyst. So a lot of new kind of job roles for
These are
which
coming into India.
absolutely, and it will come. And I would say India is very progressive, and as of now, we are the best to be here, and we are the best. We are in one of the best country in the world, and I feel very proud of being an Indian. And I feel like that a lot of stories I get to hear, a lot of news I get it, that right after 12th, the students wants to go to abroad to finish their graduation or finish their post graduation. I would say that we have everything here.
But what if they can't get admission into any of the reputed college or the desired college
So
which they are seeking
so there are two
admission for?
things. So considering the size of Indian population, right? Everybody wants to get the admission in top 3.
Right.
Not everyone can get. The competition is very cut to cut here. But if you see the kind of universities or the kind of platform right now we are having, and the way India is developing, when each and every company, all the countries, they are coming to India, right? G Summit, it was an eye opener, right? If you go abroad, if you travel abroad, the way we were actually looked upon 20 years back. Now if you go outside,
It's totally
you will
changed.
feel privileged. People respect you. As an Indian, you will get that respect. So a lot is happening
There's
here.
a change. There's a change.
There is a
enormous
huge change.
Yeah.
There is a huge change. So here, even any street vendor or the people who come to ask for some money benefit or some charity for you on the road, on the red light, they also have the QR code. But if you go to Australia, they do not have the QR code except few prime luxury boutiques. Here, the street vendor, the sabji wala, the street hawker, the beggar, everybody, even the iron wala, they will have their QR codes.
Yeah.
So we are progressive and we are already making our mark, and that is why we are being acknowledged now. Earlier, the way Indians were treated, I'm sorry to say, but they used to look at us like, you know, thieves have come. It was like that. So it is changing. The kind of exposure people will get, students will get at this time when all the countries are coming here and India is not developed, it is developing. If you talk about US, they are already saturated.
Exactly.
Right? And there is definitely the universities outside India, they attract. One thing they will definitely get, if somebody is living here in the metropolitan city, then they will get the fresh air there. That's the only benefit I can see.
That's for sure. Yeah.
That's the only benefit I can see.
The air index is
Otherwise,
quite
I
low.
feel like that, you know, if
still you can get the fresh air just traveling 100 kilometers down to Delhi.
Absolutely. So when you are raised here, when you have made your name here,
basically the perception in the parents or the students' mind, and it's all because of the society pressure, I can say, that you have to be in the topmost top 3 colleges, as you said.
But you know what? After being raised here, then they are going for the education outside India.
Right.
They earn there. They contribute in the GDP of some other country. They are not in the part of the GDP of India. Right. And once they will get old, then they will think of India. Then again they will come back to India. So it is more of a liability that towards the place where they were actually born. The prime time wherein they become the healthy resource for India, they chose to go abroad. So that is what you know, is not a healthy sign. So that is something wherein the shift need to come.
We are seeing the data. So as per the data, you know, more than 45% of these universities, they have the Asian students. Asians, yes. Specifically in Asia, the Chinese and the Indians, and thirdly the Pakistanis.
Yes.
So I was shocked to see the data, like the Chinese, Indians, and the Pakistanis.
So that is concerning. So that is one thing which that shift need to be taken care of, and that cannot be done by the universities or by the government. There is something which we would say, that the exposure at home also, that the way how the parents want their child to be. So in my case, my entire family, they are abroad and they want me to settle abroad. And it has been almost now 10-12 years now that I refused. I said that no, I took my birth here and I want to be a part of this country. Whatever little change I will make or whatever I will contribute by earning here, I want to contribute to India's GDP, no other nation. Because this is a place where I have to give. So I have taken.
But how many people like Shivani out of, you know, the population of 150 CR?
So now in that case, probably we can tell them, like for both of my daughters, I have told them that after 12th, you are not going to stay here at home. You will study, but you will not go abroad. So I will give you the hostel life, but in India, you choose the hostel, you choose the university, earn that university and go there. And once you will be there, and after that, we will, you know, you get the exposure and then take a call, because India is changing, you know. And similarly, like my elder daughter, she is in Chennai. So being a North Indian, studying in Chennai,
there's a language barrier.
Not even a language barrier. So it is like a lot of barriers are there. So
what we see is a language barrier when we go to South India. So a person who speaks typically Hindi.
Yes.
And sometimes
okay, tell me one thing. So when any South Indian is here in North, what kind of a treatment do they get? North Indians accept? Some kind of reservations are there?
Yeah, you can say.
Yeah, so similarly, if a North Indian is going to South India, especially in the university, then definitely they will face their own challenges. It will take time for them to be comfortable and feel like,
But why India is divided? Like, why this South Indian people say that we are South Indian? Why this North Indian people? We never say that we belong to North India.
it's the
But
mindset and the attitude.
but when you go to Chennai or in any other state, they say that we belong to South India.
Yes. So it is primarily because of the mindset and the way it is being shown by our, ancestors. It is since then. It is something like that. Why there is India and Pakistan? It is like that.
It's very strange, like listening to I belong to South India.
So no, South India is very progressive in the terms of education. Also, they are spending big time in the quality education, and especially I have been to a lot of colleges in South also, in towards the Gujarat also, and then in the North Indian belt as
India has
well.
got the highest, this technical education colleges. Highest number is in South only.
Yes,
Highest
yes,
number of colleges.
yes. So not even in the colleges, even in the school education also, they are actually paying a lot of attention, which is like remarkable. So it is something like that. They are actually trying to make the students being very, very much comfortable with the technology. Like in one of the government school I have visited, so they have done the tie-up with the TOEFL. So, and it is something like that in their tenure of from grade 1 primary till the higher secondary till 12th. So they will get 2 certifications from the TOEFL. So whenever they plan to, after 12th, if they plan to sit for any of the international competition, then they already have their TOEFL ranking.
So this technology should be taught at a very early stage.
Yeah, but that is good.
In the school.
That is good.
We don't see this kind of curriculum
So
or this kind of technology in our local schools in North India.
So even I'm talking about the government schools in Andhra Pradesh.
And those especially
So-
government schools.
Yes, government schools, and even you will see that they are all smart boards are there, and every child is with the tablet. And when I was there, so they all were given this Oxford dictionary as a must. So I just wanted to check. So I asked one of the student one word, and within few seconds, I think less than 10 seconds, that child he has mentioned that page number this, line number this is the word, this is the meaning, ma'am. So this was like so remarkable. The government school child. So that is something up to us, that how do we want to use the technology, because technology right now is pretty exposed. Every child is familiar with the mobile phones, with the tablets, with the Instagram app, with the Facebook app, with the YouTube app, with the LinkedIn app. But how we can move them to use it wisely, that is with us. We cannot depend entirely on the university or the teachers that teach our kids. There are certain things which we need to take care as a
Yes.
parents.
A child is just 5 hours in the school.
Yes.
Rest of the day or the entire day
Yes,
he's
so
at
it
home.
is important.
So you as a parent you have to teach, and you can't rely on the schools or the teachers to.
Absolutely, because see, if
Because a children is getting an environment
I
to
will,
study
I will
there.
tell you a very common scene. Family dinner. 4 of them are there in the restaurant,
Right.
and 4 of them are on their own mobiles.
Yeah.
This is a very common scene which we see, right? Whenever we are getting ready, we are going out. It is all about taking pictures and posting them. So, somewhere, as a parent, we also need to educate ourselves.
वो मैंने अभी एक बहुत वो दलजीत दोसांझ का एक अभी कॉन्सर्ट हुआ था, हर जगह चल रहे हैं.
जी.
People are more into the selfies,
Yes.
more into the mobile phones rather than
Yes.
enjoying.
So, real world actually taken over the real world. So that real world, we need to be a part of it. We need to inculcate that habit. So we need to see that what is good. Like very rightly, you give the example of Australian government that they have banned. So I would say that banning or something like it is a call of the government, but
they want to
at our level,
make the citizens progressive, or better than the
Yes,
others.
because it is their age to learn the skills right now,
Exactly.
not the social media skills, not the fake
आजकल तो
things
आप
that.
if you ask a child, you play chess or a cricket? Yes, mobile.
Absolutely, they
They
are.
have these kind of answers.
Yes, they are not into physical sports anymore. So they tend to make a lot of excuses. But few things like whenever the government will take the call, it will take the call. But as a parent or as a
And I
school or
think that's the
university,
main reason for the agitation also in the students.
yes. So there are a lot of side effects. So once I took the session from of once I took the session of one of the very renowned North Belka University. So there I took the session on anxiety. So I can't tell you, it was an online session, and the kind of problems or issues the students actually started opening up. It was quite shocking. They actually started telling their problems and issues, that how they face it, what they do, what they shouldn't do. At our times, anxiety was I was not even aware of that anxiety kis chidiya ka naam hota hai. Now I see that every child is affected with the anxiety. Okay, because there is a lot of pressure, there is a lot of peer pressure. And if you see that whenever any child is more into the apps or on the mobile, then they tend to lose the confidence that how to present themselves in the real world. They try to stay away from the crowd. They are not confident to meet and greet people. It is a very common science. So parents should also see that how they want to portray themselves and how they want to teach the usage of the technology to the kids. Because whenever even the newborn baby, they give them the tablet, they play the songs, the rhymes, everything. So even in case of my daughters, I told their tuition teachers that not to send any assignment on the WhatsApp number. Please get the printout done, give it to the child, don't push them to use the phone. So those kind of calls you need to take. So there are serious concerns, and we need to fight it all together, because it is technology. It is up to you that how do you want to use it. It can either make you or it can either break you. So it is up to you how do you want to do it. It goes for not only for the kids, it goes for us also. So what side technology or social platforms are like, that what kind of a side we want to show it to the world. We don't want to we want to show them the best of us.
Exactly.
We don't want to show them that when we are crying, what is the failure. There is a story in
Basically,
everything.
we are trying to portray which we are not.
Yes.
This is what we are seeing in
Yes.
the social media platforms, whether it may be Instagram or maybe the Facebook.
Absolutely.
They're trying to
And
see the best of themselves.
yes, and having said this, yes, for the reskilling, the technology, the engineering side, the IT related fields, these are really, really progressive. Anything related to the any career making in the mental health, because mental health is on a toss now, and it will stay like this, or rather, the issues will increase more. So mental health, choosing a career in that will also be good. Then health is good. Then
Shivani, I'll just interrupt you in between.
Yeah.
Why more and more like people you see more concerned with the astro?
with
Like,
the
yeah, they're more concerned with the fate lines, their luck lines, or whether I'll make money or not. They're more into that. Why so? I think 5 years down the line, there wasn't a concept like this. Like we used to, this,
So
it's a
now-
traditional,
yes,
although it's a very traditional process, but it's gaining very familiarity and the popularity.
yes, that's true. So with Astro, I would say that earlier it used to be only for the matchmaking. And at that time we get to know, but nowadays even the small kids, they talk about the tarot, they talk about the crystals, the stones, the precious stones, what to wear, what not to
Are they
wear.
really the astrologers, or they try to portray the astrologers? Because if any of the astrologer comes online and I pay him or her a certain amount, like 500 to 700 rupees, I'll never ask whether you are a actually certified astrologer or not.
So I think it's a belief, and from their end, it is more of a marketing. because like any other career, it is also a very great career.
Great career.
So because you can see that so many homemakers, they have set up their stalls as a tarot reader. So it is
Mhm.
always better to do something, if not, as compared to nothing. So that is there. So definitely, if great career in the sense like that, they have marketed it a lot. And if you have, like in any field or in any career, if you go and if you make some 10 or 15 good clients, then they are going to come back and they will keep on taking your advice.
But is the advice they're giving is genuine or not? But
So
see, it depends.
that also depends, because you should not see, astro is a science. I take it as a science, right? And most of the time when we go to the any of the astro thing, let it be tarot or let it be any kind of card reading or your palm reading or anything. So based on my experience, if some what I have seen it around, they will go only when they are at any of the low track in life, right? When everything is going well, that particular point of time, you don't need any kind of interest in palm reading, astro reading, or whatever. Everything is going good, you will feel good about it. But when we feel low and when we are scared of losing something, or we have already lost something, then we get interested and we need that support,
Hard times.
that something good will happen, something good will happen. Okay, 1 month, okay, after that something good will happen.
Hard time
So
will make you attract to the
exactly,
astrologer.
exactly. So again, I will come back to that point that this generation is more into it. Reason being, even the college going students, they are a lot into it. Why? Because they do not get that confidence to speak up at home, to discuss their issues at home. That is why they are getting dependent and they don't mind getting open in front of the person who doesn't have any idea about anything about their life. And that person will say something which is like something is in their favor, or and something is not in their favor. So it is, I won't say, I will say that there should not be any dependency on any other person. We need to do our karma and we
Exactly.
need to believe in ourselves. And it is just a science, and it is not a rocket science of 100 with the 100% accuracy. So we have to stay very grounded and humble and keep on doing our work.
Basically,
If
astro
we
can give you the direction, but you have to have a good karma.
see,
They can,
astro
they can
can,
just show you.
yeah, astro can tell me that I can be a CEO of the company, but if I'm not working to be a CEO of the company,
You have to work in that direction to be a CEO of that.
exactly. So I won't be a CEO if I'm not working towards it. And if I'm already working towards it, then why do I need to know that if I'm working, I will work, will I work only if I will become a CEO? मतलब अगर मैं CEO बनूंगी तभी मैं
तो
काम
एस्ट्रोलॉजर
करूंगी.
मिलियनेयर्स क्यों नहीं होते?
Sorry,
एस्ट्रोलॉजर्स मिलियनेयर्स क्यों नहीं होते? मैंने I haven't seen any of the astrologers
that's what.
who are millionaire or billionaires.
That's what.
मतलब they can tell your forecasting, your life, your future. So उनके साथ ऐसा क्यों नहीं होता? मतलब this is a typical question I asked so many experts like you कि I haven't seen.
Yes, I also haven't seen.
Why so?
Maybe
आजकल
because
तो आप चैनल कोई भी खोलेंगे ना,
हाँ.
उसके ऊपर एक ही आता है एस्ट्रोटॉक. वो
So-
जो भी उनकी एस्ट्रोटॉक्स हर चैनल पे आजकल
yeah,
एस्ट्रोटॉक
maybe
आता है.
because they were not so good
आपका
in
राशिफल
predicting their
आपका
own.
राशिफल कैसा रहेगा, मतलब और सीरियसली लाइफ सीन किड्स. इनफैक्ट मेरे भी कई बार तो मेरे भी जो किड्स हैं ना, कई बार शुरू में कहते एस्ट्रोफिल, मैंने कहा इसको बंद करो.
So maybe they were not so they were not able to predict their own life, with the accuracy. So
But it's wrong.
it is just a science, and we should take it as a science which cannot be 100% true. It may fall in some of its logic, and it may lose it, but we cannot depend on it. See, if definitely it gives a little bit of mental peace, but tell me, if I'm visiting the astrologer and they say something bad about me, that नहीं ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता, आपको अपनी हेल्थ का ख्याल रखना होगा, आपका एक्सीडेंट लिखा है, right? Then what kind of positivity I will get out of it? I'll be too scared. It may harm my mental health. So why to get into something for which we can harm ourselves? I think we should believe in God. God is great, and God will always be kind to everyone. So whenever God give us the tough time, then we should always believe that it could be more tougher, and there is always a silver lining in the darkest cloud, and we should keep on working towards it. We will get the result.
Exactly.
So this is how it is. I don't think so that we need the astrologers. Sorry to say. Yeah.
So that was I was I was expecting the same answer from at the last. That don't need an
Yeah,
astrologer.
because it is all the
You have to
marketing
believe-
gimmick. It is all the marketing gimmick, you know. So because we all are concerned what will happen in the future, but we are not concerned that what we are doing today.
Present, yeah.
So that, and what we are doing it today, how 100% we make ourselves available in that particular moment, whatever we are doing. Are we really putting our 100% effort? If we are not putting 100% effort, then why we should expect the result which is 120%? That's unfair.
Right.
So
So we'll move on to our last question.
sure.
I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes of yours.
Yes.
I would like your expert comments on the online gaming as well.
Online gaming.
Yeah,
Okay. So
because this is also very much trend,
uh-huh.
and the government is also few of our ministers, they are trying to ban this or stop this, because more and more people are attracted towards online gaming.
Yes.
I must say it's online gaming or an online gambling. Like
Mm,
gambling is a word derived from the gaming also.
see,
only.
I'm one person who is never.
I just want a genuine,
Yeah, genuine. See, there could be like the good side or the bad side. What you want to hear
the
first?
bad side.
The bad side.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bad.
Although it's a game, it's good. But the bad side is that people are taking it into negative. So I want that negative impact of this online gaming, especially. So I'll request you to, guide our audience regarding online gaming, which the children are more into. Parents
So-
phone पकड़ा देते हैं ना कि आप बेटा गेम खेल लो.
तो जो बच्चे थोड़े से बड़े हैं, उनके लिए तो मैं ये एडवाइस करूंगी कि जब भी आप किसी भी सोशल ऐप पर या गेमिंग पर अपना टाइम आप लगाते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल आपने 1 घंटा गेम खेला, आपने नेगोशिएट किया कि नहीं मेरे को हाफ एन आवर मेरे को गेम खेलना है, या इतना आप में समझ है कि आपको पेरेंट्स के साथ टाइम नेगोशिएट करना है, यू वांट टू नेगोशिएट द टाइम विद द पेरेंट एंड देन यू वांट टू प्ले, राइट? तो देन इवैल्यूएट कि वो जो आधा घंटा, 1 घंटा, 1.5 घंटा या 2 घंटा आपने गेमिंग के अंदर लगाया, उसका रिटर्न आपको क्या मिला एन्जॉयमेंट के अलावा? सिर्फ एन्जॉयमेंट है? कुछ उसके अंदर नई चीज़ आपने सीखी, कुछ उसने आपको अलग से हट के सिखाया? जहाँ तक मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है ऐसा नहीं होता है, राइट? गेमिंग इज समथिंग दैट यू स्पेंड द मोमेंट फॉर सम क्विक फन एंड देन इट इज ऑल इन द एयर, it just gone. So bad side is that एक्चुअली में बच्चों के ना सोचने का और उनकी जो क्रिएटिविटी होती है
जी.
ये उसको हैम्पर करता है, ठीक है? बहुत ज़्यादा देर अगर वो स्क्रीन पे रहते हैं तो उनके हेल्थ के भी इश्यूज होते हैं, आइज़ के इश्यूज होते हैं, ब्रेन उतना फ्रेश नहीं होता है, चिड़चिड़ाहट होती है, दे आर वेरी इरिटेटेड, यू नो.
एजिटेशन आ जाती है देखिए.
Exactly. And then at times there are things when they want the real money to be invested in the online game, कि हमें ये रोबक्स दिला दो या हमें ये मनी दिला दो. वहाँ पे पेरेंट्स का ये गाइड करना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि उस लेवल तक पहुँचना ही नहीं चाहिए कि उसमें हम अपना रियल मनी लगा रहे हैं. एंड ऑफ द डे प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड this is again a kind of a very profitable business only, because everything is in the virtual world and people are happily spending by paying the real money, and what they are getting, like whatever they are doing in this, that is also all virtual. Whatever the car they are buying, it is virtual. Clothes they are buying, it is virtual. Everything is virtual. What is the point of it? There is no as such positive impact I can see on the brain of the child unless or until the child is like a gamer kind of a person, जिसमें हम 2-3-4 एग्जाम्पल हमारे पास है कि उसमें जो बिल्कुल प्रोफेशनल गेमिंग के अंदर होंगे. बट देन हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल्स उन भी गेम्स के हैं जो कि बैंड होते हैं, फिर भी लोग यहाँ पर खेलते हैं, और वो उनके मेंटल हेल्थ को इतना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट करता है दैट सम ऑफ देम एक्चुअली हैव डन द सुसाइड, दे हैव गॉन अप टू दैट एक्सटेंट. So
किसी ने सोचा भी नहीं था ऐसा कि गेमिंग ऐसा इम्पैक्ट डाल देगा.
गेमिंग बिल्कुल ऐसा इम्पैक्ट डालता है. मैंने आज तक कभी कोई गेम नहीं खेला है. सो आई एम अ कंप्लीट अ बिग नो पर्सन, बिकॉज आई फील लाइक कि जब तक आप जहां पर आप वर्चुअली जा रहे हैं,
जी.
मतलब मैंने अपना सारे जो मेरे सोशल मीडिया के प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं उस पर भी मैं बहुत ही कम टाइम स्पेंड करती हूँ, because I feel like that whatever is there, you are interacting with the community. Out of all the applications, the maximum time I spend is on LinkedIn, nothing else. And the rest of the platforms are the public profiles. This is it. So whatever the time you're investing into it, I have seen people who are like in their mid 30s, mid 40s, mid 50s playing games, enjoying it, you know, playing the casino on it or
Yeah.
some other game. And these games are really, really popular. But what kind of mega win you are having? Where is the money? It is all virtual. So but they get that engagement. क्यों होता है ऐसा? ऐसा इसलिए होता है जहाँ पे मुझे लगता है कि कहीं पर उनको अपना टाइम जो है बिताने का मौका नहीं मिल पाता. कहीं पर जो एक फैमिली का इन्वॉल्वमेंट होता है वो कहीं पर कम रह जाता है.
और कहीं एक बार ये भी देखा जा रहा है कि जो ज़्यादा इसमें गेमिंग के अंदर है, दे आर बिकमिंग लेस प्रोडक्टिव देन बिफोर.
Absolutely, because it eats your
क्योंकि
creativity.
वो कहीं रहता है माइंड में, माइंडसेट रहता है कि 4 बज गए, 5 बज गए, मुझे तो आधा घंटा गेम खेलना है.
एग्जैक्टली
वो
और ये बहुत ही बुरी एडिक्शन है. आई थिंक इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ एन एडिक्शन. जैसे हम लीगर के लिए एडिक्शन बोलते हैं, स्मोकिंग के लिए एडिक्शन बोलते हैं, वैसे ही गेमिंग भी एक एडिक्शन ही है. सो इसमें आप मतलब जितना टाइम स्पेंड करेंगे, इट विल ईट योर क्रिएटिविटी एंड इट विल बी ऑलवेज रियलाइज द अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट. कि जो टाइम आप अपनी फैमिली के साथ बिता सकते हैं, या फिर आप कुछ नया सीखने में बिता सकते हैं, या फिर आप अपने आप को प्रोफेशनली और स्ट्रॉन्ग करने में बिता सकते हैं, आप चूज करते हैं कि वो सब छोड़ छाड़ कर आप थोड़ा सा गेम खेलकर उसको उसको आप बैलेंस भी नहीं करते, आप उसके अंदर फिर घुसते ही चले जाते हो. एक दिन आप आधा घंटा खेलोगे, अगले दिन आपको लगेगा चलो 10 मिनट और खेल लेते हैं.
टेम्परेरी एंजॉयमेंट.
Exactly. So that is something which is like a poison to the brain, especially for the kids.
स्पेशली नो फॉर द किड्स.
Yes. So मैंने तो अपने दोनों ही बच्चों को बहुत ज़्यादा प्रिवेंट करके इससे रखा हुआ है. And it is something like that, no matter how good you are, still I will never ever offer you the profession of gaming or a gamer or something like that. Because eventually उसका रिजल्ट भी क्या होगा? पूरे टाइम अगर वो स्क्रीन में ही रहेंगे, it will end up what kind of life they will have, what kind of a family they will have. So I am not a supporter of the
Gaming.
games
Online
also.
gaming.
Yeah, online gaming also. You play the board game. Like when I come back from my office, I have this habit to play one game with
you
my
have a
daughter.
physical activity over there.
Yeah, so I have this habit कि हम एक गेम खेलते हैं, या तो हम बोर्ड गेम खेलेंगे घर पे, या फिर हम बाहर जाके कोई फिजिकल गेम हम
That's
खेलते
the
हैं,
best.
आउटडोर गेम खेलते हैं. सो बोथ द थिंग्स वी एंजॉय. और जो बात आप करते हैं, जैसे आप स्नेक एंड लैडर्स खेल रहे हैं, या फिर आप कोई और क्रॉसवर्ड खेल रहे हैं, आप जो बातें करते हैं उस टाइम पर, जो आपकी इंटरेक्शन या इन्वॉल्वमेंट होती है बच्चे के साथ, दैट कैन नेवर बी रिप्लेस्ड. एंड दिस इज हाउ दे विल डू व्हाट दे आर लर्निंग. तो आप जो सीड डालेंगे बच्चे के अंदर, बच्चा वही चीज आगे लेके जाएगा. सो
There's a very famous game, Catan.
यस,
Both the children, they play Catan. So it's a mind game.
so even lot of good games are there, lot of good board games are there. So snake and ladder तो बहुत ही पुराना हो गया, crossword भी बहुत पुराना हो गया. Then a lot of if you go check out in Amazon also. So it's like a series of good games you will get, and it's like very interesting games. So that is something which is needed.
Exactly.
Those interaction, those talks, those teasing.
For the betterment of the society, for the betterment of our children.
Yes, for the betterment of our life also.
Exactly,
We
and-
want the kids who will look after us. They will not give us the tablet when we grow old, you know. At the
Exactly.
70, if I ask for the time from my kid and they give me the tablet, that please, this is the Apple latest, the iPad which I am giving it to you now, play on this. So that life I don't want to see. And I hope your viewers also, they don't want to see that kind of a life.
Our audience has got the the perfect examples from your life, the struggles you have faced, and from old Shivani to a totally transformed new Shivani.
Yes.
So this is I think real life examples,
I think
and
every
it's not easy to get these kind of words from an expert, because once you achieve certain position, you always try to forget your old or your transformed earlier transformed life.
So I would say that if you, whatever you get in life, whatever achievements you have in life, getting an achievement is the first part. But how do you manage yourself after that? How you carry yourself and how you maintain that? That is more important, and that is more that will identify that who you are, what kind of a person you are. So that is important. So
So, Shivani, wonderful having to you in a studio, and thank you very much. And just a last message to our audience.
my favorite quotation, or maybe my belief, that do what is right, not what is easy. So always try to do the thing right way. Don't look out for the shortcuts, and always put in your best effort to achieve the things. I'm sure one time you may defeat, second time you may defeat, third time you will play even harder, and you will get what you want in life. Maybe a lesson, maybe a learning, or maybe an achievement. So just do it, and do it fearlessly.
Thank you, Shivani.
Thank you for having me here. I
Thank you.
had a
Thank
great
you.
time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.